The sun did not shine upon the marshes of Lerna. It could not pierce the thick, yellowish miasma that clung to the reeds like a shroud. In the village nearby, the people lived in a state of perpetual, whispered terror. They did not fear a wolf or a lion, they feared the wind. If the breeze blew from the direction of the swamp, you closed your shutters and prayed, for the hydra did not need to see you to kill you. Its very lungs were a factory of corruption. It was said that if a traveler were to walk across the mud where the beast had slithered only hours before, the lingering scent in the footprints alone would cause his lungs to seize and his skin to blacken. It was the OG of monsters, the Lernaean hydra, the daughter of Typhon and Echidna, a creature so foul that the earth itself seemed to recoil from its touch. When Hercules arrived, he did not come with the bravado of a hunter. He came wrapped in a protective cloth, a dampened veil tied across his mouth and nose. Even through the fabric, the stench was unbearable, the smell of 1,000 rotting carcasses mixed with the sharp, stinging scent of sulfur. He found the beast at the mouth of a lightless cavern. It rose from the slime, a nightmare of serpentine architecture. 7 heads, some say 9, others say 100, swayed in rhythmic, hypnotic discord. Their eyes were not the eyes of animals, they were glowing pits of prehistoric malice. The battle began not with a roar, but with a hiss. As Hercules swung his massive olive wood club, shattering the first skull, he realized the depth of the horror he faced. Where one head fell, pulped into the mud, 2 more erupted from the jagged neck in a wet, tearing sound of rapid mutation. But the physical onslaught was only half the danger. With every strike, the hydra exhaled. A cloud of concentrated toxicity billowed from its multiple throats. Hercules felt his vision blur. His lungs burned as if he were inhaling liquid fire. Iolaus, the torch, he roared, his voice rasping against the poison. His nephew, Iolaus, braved the fringes of the toxic fog, bearing a brand of burning wood. As Hercules lopped off a head, Iolaus stepped in, pressing the searing flame against the raw, open stump. The flesh hissed and blackened, the cauterization preventing the unholy regeneration. But it was the blood that truly changed the world. In the final moments of the struggle, Hercules severed the immortal middle head and buried it deep beneath the massive rock. As the beast's colossal body thrashed in its final death throes, it bled. The blood was not red. It was a dark, shimmering violet, thick as oil and more caustic than any lye. Where it touched the grass, the blades evaporated into gray ash. Where it touched the water, the swamp began to boil. Hercules, ever the pragmatist and perhaps too accustomed to his own invulnerability, saw an opportunity. He knelt by the dying Titan and dipped his arrowheads into the dark, steaming ichor. He knew that with this poison, no foe, be it god, man, or monster, could survive even a scratch from his bow. He rose from the swamp a victor, the hydra's essence now tethered to his quiver. But the hydra was a creature of lingering spite. Its death was merely a slow-acting trap. Years passed. The hydra was a memory, a trophy in the tapestry of Hercules' legends. But the poison remained on his arrows, as potent and hungry as the day it left the beast's veins. When the centaur Nessus attempted to abduct Hercules' wife, Deianira, the hero shot him with a hydra-tipped arrow. As Nessus lay dying, his blood mixing with the caustic venom of the hydra, he whispered a final, treacherous lie to Deianira: "Take my tunic, soaked in my blood. If Hercules' love ever strays, give it to him, and it will act as a charm to win back his heart." Deianira, fearing she was losing her husband's affection, eventually did just that. She sent Hercules a fine white robe, unaware that it was saturated with the dried, dormant venom of the beast from Lerna. As the sun warmed the cloth against Hercules' skin, the poison awoke. It was not a quick death. The hydra's blood, even years removed from its source, began to eat through the hero's skin. It fused the fabric to his flesh, melting his muscles and searing his very bones. The OG monster had finally won. Hercules, the strongest man to ever walk the earth, could not fight an enemy that was inside his own paws. He tore at the robe, but only pulled his own flesh away with it. In the end, the hero who had survived the claws of the Nemean lion and the gates of Hades was brought to his knees by a few drops of ancient, acidic spite. He built his own funeral pyre, seeking the mercy of the flames to escape the agonizing breath of the hydra that had finally, inevitably, caught up to him.